This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I'm Samia Mohammed for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Uganda declares end to Ebola outbreak. IMF Deputy Managing Director commends Ethiopia for its robust reform program. African Union moves to fast-track free movement across continent. Now, the news in detail. Uganda declared an end to the Ebola Sudan virus disease outbreak after completing a 42-day mandatory countdown without any new confirmed cases reported, less than 3 months after the virus was detected in the capital, Kampala. Uganda Minister of Health Ruth Aceng made the announcement on Saturday at Busamanga Primary School playground in the eastern city of Mbale, one of the areas affected by Ebola. The World Health Organization guidelines require that for a country to be declared Ebola-free, it must spend 42 days to 21-day incubation cycles of the virus without any new cases reported. Uganda declared the SVD outbreak on January 30 after a 32-year-old nurse died of the disease at the Mulago National Referral Hospital in Kampala. Somalia Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre carried out cabinet reshuffle on Sunday, replacing the Ministers of Defense, Foreign Affairs and Second Deputy Prime Minister, the state-run Somali National News Agency reported. Barre appointed Ahmed Molami Fiki, the current Minister of Foreign Affairs, to the Ministry of Defense, while naming his Second Deputy Prime Minister Abdisalan Abdi Ali Dahai as the new Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Jibril Abdurrashid Haji Abdi, who had been serving as the Minister of Defense for just 3 weeks, was appointed as the Second Deputy Prime Minister. Prior to this role, Jibril was the Minister of Commerce and Industry. Fiki, the new Minister of Defense, previously served as the Minister of Interior for 2 years and the Minister of Foreign Affairs for 1 year. The African Union Commission, through its Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment, is set to officially launch the Comprehensive African Agriculture Program Strategy and Action Plan for 2026 to 2035. The significant launch will take place in Johannesburg, South Africa from May 5 to 7, 2025 in collaboration with the African Union Development Agency, New Partnership for African Development, NEPAD. CAADP has been the driving force behind Africa's agricultural transformation since its adoption in 2003 in Maputo, Mozambique. The Maputo CAADP framework aimed to accelerate economic growth, reduce poverty, and enhance food security through agriculture-led growth, targeting a 6% annual agriculture GDP growth by 2015 and at least 10% of public expenditures spent on agriculture. The African Union has finalized draft strategy to accelerate the implementation of the Protocol on Free Movement of Persons across the continent. The initiative aims to harmonize visa regimes, improve broader infrastructure, and promote the African passport to ease travel and residency right. So far, 33 countries have signed the protocol, but only 4 have ratified it, with Rwanda leading liberal visa policies. Despite potential benefits like boosting intra-African trade and labor mobility, the AU acknowledges challenges such as security concerns and regulatory hurdles. In other news, Donald Trump has demanded free passage for U.S. military and commercial ships through the Panama and Suez canals, claiming that roads wouldn't exist without American support. He tasked Secretary of State Marco Rubio with pursuing the matter immediately, while U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth floated the idea of prioritizing and waiving tolls for U.S. warships. Panama's president responded that tolls are set by the autonomous Panama Canal Authority, rejecting any special arrangement. The Suez Canal has seen a sharp drop in revenue due to Houthi attacks on Red Sea shipping, forcing routed global trade. Trump has escalated U.S. military strikes on Houthi targets, vowing continued action to protect maritime roads. Japan and Vietnam have agreed to strengthen trade ties and uphold global rules on the free flow of goods amid rising U.S. tariff threats. During his visit to Hanoi, Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba and Vietnamese leaders signed up 4 cooperation deals, including on energy, semiconductor research, though details remained undisclosed. Both countries are in talks with Washington after the U.S. imposed tariffs currently posed up to 46%. Japan has invested $78 billion in Vietnam, a key manufacturing base for Japanese firms. Vietnam also urged more Japanese investment in infrastructure, including $67 billion high-speed rail project.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel, all the time. Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Turning to business news. The high-level Ethiopian delegation comprised of Finance Minister Ahmed, Governor of the National Bank of Ethiopia, Mereja, and other members had a constructive discussion with the recently appointed IMF Deputy Managing Director, Nigel Clark. The two sides conducted the discussion during the 2025 spring meetings of IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C. The meeting discussed the strong progress in the implementation of Ethiopia's macroeconomic reform and reviewed the findings of the third IMF program review mission held in Ethiopia in early April 2025. The IMF Deputy MD commended the government on the robust reform program and progress in achieving key macroeconomic targets despite the challenging global environment, including drop in inflation, significant rise in exports, enhanced revenue mobilization, and the improving business climate, among others. Finally, global finance leaders left the IMF and World Bank sparring meetings in Washington with growing concerns over President Trump's sweeping tariffs and little clarity on potential relief. Despite receiving 18 trade proposals, the U.S. administration finalized no deals, and key meetings with U.S. officials were limited or unproductive. IMF forecasts reflected global economic anxieties through officials downplayed recession's risks, while private analysts warned the outlook might be worse. Debt issues for developing countries were largely sidelined amid tariff tensions despite warnings from the IMF and World Bank. Although U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reaffirmed support from global financial institutions, uncertainty around U.S. policies left many fearing deeper economic trouble ahead. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.